So you know who's starting at quarterback for the Chicago Bears on Sunday against the Vikings?
McMahon?
Nate Peterman. Nathan Peterman will start for the Bears, almost guaranteeing, not almost, guaranteeing that the Chicago Bears will not win. So Cal McNair needs to respond by demanding Lovie Smith start Jeff Driscoll at quarterback and run the Driscoll Cat offense for an entire game. That is the only way the Texans can guarantee that they can out-tank the Bears going into the final week of the NFL season.
The schedule makers didn't do the Texans any favors on this. The Vikings and the Bears play at noon. The Vikings still have an outside chance at the number 2 overall seed in the NFC, so they have every reason to play well, play hard, and defeat the Bears. The 49ers play later in the day. So it's not like they know the result or can start seeing the result of the 49ers game and take their foot off the gas. But they need to play, get the result they need. So there's no help on the Vikings side. Mm-hmm. And then what makes it even more difficult, the Colts, not only do they stink, they've quit. They have basically quit on this season. Jeff Saturday had a 4th and 1 from the 5-yard line of the Giants last week, and he kicked a field goal. Like, what are you doing? Have some balls, Jeff Saturday. Oh, wait, he's trying to be bad. You know they scored 13 points in 10 quarters? 13 points in 10 quarters.
With like 3 different quarterbacks playing.
Yeah, their past 10 quarters of football, they've scored 13 points. It's going to be really damn hard to out-tank the Colts because I'm assuming Jeff Saturday's on board with who cares what the result is for the Colts as long as it's not a win.
So you have the Bears basically setting themselves up to guarantee themselves to lose, and the problem for the Texans, Cody, as you just outlined, is that the Colts are going to try and lose as well. What if the Colts and the Texans get together and they say, we already tied once, let's do it again because that benefits both of us?
How would they do that?
That's even harder to do than just go out there and lose.
Jim Irsay calls up Cal McNair, and they agree they're just going to take knees the entire game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure both teams would get
lose
fined.
Their first-round pick. Be like, all right, you guys are fine.
Yeah, they'd get fined money and draft picks if they did something like that. Yeah, look, if it's a one-possession game in the fourth quarter, maybe that phone call gets made. Or if it's a tie game in the fourth quarter, maybe the coaches look at each other and wink across the sideline like, hey, let's just literally just run the ball and do whatever you can to make sure this game ends in a tie so both of us can keep our draft status. There's reason to believe the Colts would try to lose this game. I don't know where they are right now. I don't think this is a Jeff Saturday call. I think this is a Jim Irsay call. Most owners call the shots for their respective football teams. Jim Irsay is out there. He's public. Everybody knows that he is the final decision caller, and he's very involved with what goes on with the day-to-day operations with the Indianapolis Colts. So if he wants the team to tank, they're going to go out there and tank. And there's reason to believe the Colts should be trying to lose because right now they've got the 5th pick in the draft. If they lose, they guarantee that they're going to have a top 5 pick. If they win, there's no guarantee that they'll still be drafting in the top 5. And the Colts also need a quarterback. The Colts also need a quarterback, too. So, I don't know. There's a chance. And look, Jeff Saturday said all of the right things on Monday, at least said what he was supposed to say. If I'm a Colts fan, I'm trying to lose this game, too. Jeff Saturday came out on Monday and is like, tanking? Trying to lose? What? I hate losing. It leaves a terrible taste in my mouth. We're going out there to win. That's what he's supposed to say. We don't know exactly what the Colts are doing. It's probably in their best interest to lose. And, Cody, let's be honest. Like, the Texans looked awful against the Jags. The 3 weeks prior, they looked pretty good. They didn't play a great game against the Titans, but they won. They obviously took the Chiefs to overtime the week before that, and they should have beaten the Cowboys the week before that as the biggest underdog in the NFL this season. The Colts might not have to tank with Sam Ehlinger. I love Sam Ehlinger. He's not very good right now, and the Colts aren't very good. They could try to win, and if the Texans are trying to win, the Texans could beat them.
They need to lose.
The Texans have been playing better football than the Colts over the last month. So if the Texans don't try to lose, even if the Colts aren't trying to lose, there's a chance the Texans could find a win on Sunday.
That's my concern because I do think the Texans are going to win if they just play it like they're just going to try to win. That's why I really believe if you're Cal McNair or even Nick Caserio, assuming he's going to be the guy here, you got to get to Lovie Smith. And Mike Florio told us the story earlier today when Lovie was the coach in Tampa. There was a deliberate attempt to tank at the end of that season so the Bucs can get Jameis Winston with the top pick in the draft. Sean Payton told that story on Fox Sports Radio a couple of weeks ago, and Florio referenced it on with us earlier today. Lovie should know the deal. Lovie should know the deal. The Driscoll Cat needs to be in place. The Texans could lose this game.
All right. I got to ask you guys. You're Nick Caserio. You sit down in Lovie Smith's office or you have him come to your office, however the phrasing needs to go. You say, Lovie, We really can't afford to win this game here on Sunday. Need your help. Lovie Smith says, well, I'm going to need to be the coach here next year if I'm going to be losing this game on purpose. You taking the deal? Lovie the coach next year? He'll help you tank. He'll help you get the number 1 overall pick, but he's the coach next year?
I'm firing him before this game. And the intern coach is going to go out there and tank.
Yeah, that'd be a real great look for the Houston Texans. In the middle of what the NFL's going on this week, they're like, yeah, we actually fired Lovie Smith on Thursday because he wouldn't tank for
This
us.
would be the best time. Everyone's talking about the Hamlin situation. No one's going to focus on Lovie getting fired.
Oh, Jesus.
This is what you have to do, though. Seriously, there's no benefit to winning this game. None. And for those saying, well, the Bears are not going to take a quarterback, so who cares? One, you don't know. This Bears regime did not draft Justin Fields. And two, there could be a team that now leapfrogs you in the draft to move up in front of you to go get the quarterback that you wanted.
Hey, Nick, why'd you fire Lovie Smith? Oh, we're trying to lose. We just didn't see eye to eye for this last game. We didn't like the way the team looked against Jacksonville.
You know, we saw other teams fire their coach early, and we're like, yeah, why don't we do that?
Yeah.
You know, Nathaniel Hackett got fired last week. We're like, we're just going to fire our guy just to put him out of his misery.
Wanted to talk to Harbaugh real quick. Couldn't do that with Lovie still employed.
Well, honestly, if they did do that, he could just come out and say, we had already made the decision to move on from him, so we just don't want to delay it anymore out of respect to him.
They won't do that.
Yeah, and then you get Frank Ross, the interim head coach, pumping everybody up. You go out there and beat the Colts by 50. It's like, damn it. What are we doing, Frank?
Running fake punts on every play, looking like Lane Kiffin at the TaxAct Texas Bowl, going for it on every fourth down. Oh, man. Jake, you talked about it. You want control of the draft, and that's what you get when you're picking first. You can pick any player you want. It's not the case when you're picking second. There are too many uncontrollable factors. You're worried about what the Bears could do with the number 1 pick. Odds are they're sticking with Justin Fields, but you know teams are going to be calling Chicago about making a trade up to number 1. There are a ton of quarterback desperate teams out there, including the team you're playing this weekend, by the way. A team in your own division could trade ahead of you and get Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, like the quarterback you want. That's not good. The Colts need a quarterback, the Falcons, the Seahawks, the Lions, the Raiders. All of these teams have top 10 picks, which means they don't have to give up a ridiculous amount to move up to number 1. Like, it's a feasible way. There is a feasible way for them to do that. You don't want the ball to be in the Bears' court. You want it to be in your court. There's too many mights. There's too many possiblities. There's too many potentialities. There's too many coulds. There's too many things that could go wrong if you're not picking number 1 in the draft. And the only way that you guarantee you're picking number 1 in the draft is you lose this game on Sunday.
And maybe it's not one of these teams that's trading from behind you up to number 1. Maybe it's the Bears calling you and pulling an old blackmail move. Hey, there's a lot of teams talking to us about number 1. You can go ahead and have number 1. All we're going to need is some of those Browns picks they sent you.
Or just give us a 3rd-round pick, and first pick's yours to ensure that you get – like, why even have to go through that? If you really love a quarterback, just have control over everything and just lose on Sunday.
Also, it's way more fun to have the number 1 overall pick than to have the number 2 overall pick. It's just way more fun. Like, yeah, it's not great. It means you were the worst team in football, but you already know you're the worst team in football. So the selection of number 1 versus number 2, it doesn't need to tell you anything. You are the worst team.
Yes, finish the job. They are the worst team. They're, like, the Bears beat them when they played this year. They are worse than the Bears, but the Bears are smarter to get the first pick by sitting down Justin Fields for Nathan Peterman, so the Texans need to be smarter than that and sit down Davis Mills for the Driscoll Cat. Or as D. Green on Twitter wrote to me, the Tunsil Cat. Give me Laramie Tunsil taking some snaps. I don't care. They cannot win this game on Sunday.
Tunsil's the only good player they have. They should probably bench Laramie Tunsil in this game. Honestly, rest him up for next season. Rest all of your good players.
How about Bill Burr at quarterback?
Which means Laramie Tunsil is getting rested, and that's about it.
Put the punter at quarterback, Cam Johnston.
In the injury report today, there's no mysterious injuries that popped up.
There's still time.
There's still time.
Check tomorrow's injury report.
Certainly. There's no mysterious injuries that popped up on the injury report for the Texans. So, and if you're Lovie Smith, Lovie Smith has the understanding that it's more than likely he's not the head coach of this team next year. Be nice for him to finish his head coaching career, because I have a hard time imagining Lovie Smith's ever getting another head coaching job after this. It'd be nice for Lovie Smith to go out on a win. It would not be nice for the Houston Texans to have Lovie Smith go out with a win.
No, it's not what we're looking for. They thought I wanted to fire him now. If he goes out and wins on Sunday, I'm going to be losing my mind out here. And it sucks. This is not what we want to talk about. You never want to root for your team to lose, but it's for the betterment of the Houston Texans franchise moving forward.
Yeah, at this point, you've already sat through enough losing. It's one more game.
Yeah.
You're 2-13-1. Just finish the job. Don't blow it in Week 18 of the NFL season by allowing the Bears to out-tank you.
Yeah, get off your moral high horse. Oh, you're a bad fan if you root for the team to lose. You should never root for the team to lose. No, you root for your team to lose here. Okay, you want control of the draft for so many different reasons. You've got the best opportunity to get a player who can change the fortune of your franchise by losing this game on Sunday. Isn't that what we're looking for? Like you said, Jake, the Texans have lost so much over the last few years. Like, give yourself the best chance to stop freaking losing. We're all tired of it. And the best way to do that is to just lose one more time. As weird as it sounds, but that is the best case scenario for the Texans in the short and long term.
Boy, think about I'll do a little homework here tonight. The last decade, teams that won late in the season that drastically adjusted their draft spot in the top 5.
You don't think the Jets would like to have Trevor Lawrence right now?
It's great. I mean,
you don't think the Texans would like they could have taken Sauce Gardner last year, but you don't think they'd like to have Aiden Hutchinson right now?
Yeah.
Congrats, Rex Burkhead. Nice game against the Chargers. You screw that one up.
Yeah, there wouldn't have been any discussion about which corner to take if you were at 2 because you would have taken Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
And then you'd have had that one up over the Jaguars for the rest of the time they played each other. You guys drafted Trevon Walker? We got Aiden Hutchinson.
Mm-hmm.
No, instead we got a David Culley win against the Chargers. Yeah, that was fun, I guess, for 30 minutes.
Cal McNair needs to be telling Lovie Smith, just lose, baby. Al Davis said, just win, baby. Cal McNair needs to be telling Lovie Smith, just lose, baby.
I like it.
To be fair, a tie would work too. So don't win, baby also works.